Thursday to you. This is News 14 Carolina Meteorologist Matthew East, and of course this is the Thursday edition of East Weather Video. Let's talk about Ike first. This is an image I snapped this morning from Galveston Island, the seawall there, and of course the sea's not looking too bad out there. The Gulf of Mexico not looking too bad out there this morning, but of course conditions will be heading downhill along the Texas coast as we go through the next 24 to 48 hours. There is Ike on the infrared satellite imagery, and Ike is getting better and better organized. The pressure really low. The reconnaissance planes have been measuring pressure with Ike down in the 940s. Normally, that would translate to a Category 3, maybe a weak Category 4 hurricane. But in Ike's case, it's such a broad hurricane, it's having a hard time getting the winds to match up with what the pressure would normally indicate in terms of wind speed. So I think Ike is going to strengthen. I think Ike will become a major hurricane sooner rather than later, and I think Ike will be a major hurricane at landfall. There's a peek at Ike on the visible satellite imagery, and if you look very carefully here, you can see just the beginnings of an eye trying to form right in that area. And I think we're going to see that eye try to pop out here as we go through the day for today. All right, let's take a look at the track guidance. We've plotted the various computer model runs here, and this is the 6Z runs. The computer models plotted those into Google Maps here. And there's the bigger view, and notice most of the modeling here is showing the landfall somewhere between Corpus Christi and Galveston Bay there rather, on the Texas coastline. Most of the model guidance in that general area. Now you have one outlier off to the south and one or two outliers off to the north, but certainly most of the model guidance there between Corpus Christi and Galveston Harbor, Galveston Bay. And there's a peek at a closer up view along the coast there, and really most of the guidance cluster between Matagorda Bay and Galveston and Houston. And that's certainly where we're seeing most of the model guidance plotted, at least again with this 6Z run of the data. All right, this is the European model, and I know this is a little tough to see, most likely. I just wanted to show you. Actually, these frames are out of order. That's the first frame there on the European model, and I notice it also brings Ike to the upper Texas coast and then really right over Houston as it lifts up into northeastern parts of Texas. That's the Canadian model. It too showing that landfall on the upper Texas coast, and this is the official National Hurricane Center forecast, and it brings Ike there a little west of Galveston onto the Texas coast early Saturday morning. And let me say, if that track were to verify, there would be really significant storm surge issues along and to the right of the path there on the upper Texas coast there. The pressure being as low as it is, Ike is probably building up a significant storm surge, and that will, if that track were to verify, that'd be some serious problems for Galveston and Houston there if that track were to verify. Now let's talk about intensity. The 6C run of the H Wharf did not really initialize the system well, so I didn't show you that. But this is the 6C run of the GFDL, and it brings Ike to the coast, much the same area we've been talking about. The pressure at 941 and winds, the 35-meter winds at 120 knots. So you get the idea. All the modeling indicating Ike is going to be a strong hurricane, probably a major hurricane at landfall, and it looks like this could be a very bad situation for the Texas coast. And anywhere there along the Texas coast, especially from Corpus Christi on northward, needs to very, very closely monitor Ike's progress and follow the directions there of the local authorities as evacuations are mandated. All right, back home to North Carolina. This is an image from Beech Mountain this morning. A foggy start to the morning, and not only is it that way in the mountains, it's that way across much of the Piedmont as well, as we have one of our Carolina wedges firmly established. We have this area of high pressure over the New England states, and that is wedged down the eastern side of the mountains here in classic cold air damming configuration. You can see that clearly in the temperature pattern from this morning as well. We're in the 60s for low temperatures this morning, and it'll be a struggle to make it up toward the mid to upper 70s this afternoon. Now, a lot of rain fell yesterday. This is the accumulated storm total precipitation, and parts of Richmond County and Anson County saw over 6 inches of rain, and there were over 3 inches of rain in parts of Gaston and Mecklenburg, Cabarrus counties, and also up toward the Triad viewing area, get down into Randolph, Davidson, Montgomery counties. Over 3 inches of rain fell in that portion of the region as well. So certainly there were some flash flooding issues yesterday. Let's go to the modeling. This is the 6C run of the GFS model. I'm just going to kind of hit the highlights here. The upper air pattern in the northeastern part of the country no longer conducive for holding that area of high pressure in place, so it's moving out to sea. So the wedge will break down with time. Wedge still with us today, though. A dreary day, lots of clouds, some occasional light rain and drizzle, but by tomorrow, this is the map 500 millibar chart for 2 o'clock tomorrow. There goes Ike near the Texas coast. Around here, the wedge begins to break up. We'll be looking at high temperatures toward the lower side of the 80s, I believe, in most spots, and there could be some showers, maybe even a couple thunderstorms as we go through Friday afternoon. All right, we've skipped ahead here to Sunday at 2 p.m. Notice the ridge really building here across the southeastern part of the country, and that's going to give us some hot weekend weather here in the southeast. That's Sunday's map. That is Monday's map. And the ridge still with us. So I think Saturday and Sunday, even Monday, will be very warm days around here. At the surface, there we are Monday. Ike's remnants on the GFS here, a little northeast of Little Rock. Very heavy rain falling in Missouri and parts of Illinois. And here we are Tuesday afternoon on the GFS. And what we have here is Ike's remnants sort of turning into a cutoff trough. And that would slowly try to work our way. There's Tuesday, here's Wednesday afternoon, that trough working our way, and we'd finally see some rain if the GFS is correct about Wednesday of next week. But certainly next week's solution still very much up in the air. I've left the forecast for next week dry for the time being, and we'll just have to see if we do get any of Ike's remnants up our way. By the way, I mentioned the heat this weekend, probably lower 90s across much of the Piedmont as we go through Saturday and Sunday, and maybe still touching 90 Monday as well before we try to cool down a bit Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right, that's it for this edition of the video. Reminders, my email address, matthew.east@news14.com, and News 14 Carolina, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on Time Warner Cable Channel 14 and on the web at www.news14.com. Thanks for watching this edition of the video. If you have any comments, please feel free to let me know in the comments section of the blog below or by email. I'd love to know what you think. Everyone have a great day, and God bless.